There is a disconnect. So many of us feel it. A disconnect between the rituals that we have been taught, our understanding of a progressive modern world, and the fascinating discoveries of science. Increasingly, these worlds seem to diverge, and we often find it difficult to harmonize them. Sometimes philosophies and beliefs seem to give rise to more questions than answers. Religion sounds mythological, whereas spirituality seems logical.
If I'm not religious, but I believe in a higher power, does that make me spiritual?
What makes more sense? Creationism or the Big Bang Theory?
Science or scripture?
Isn't spirituality more of an experience?
What is it? What is spirituality?
Spirituality means something different to everyone, but surely there should be some common ground to all types of faith. And can we put it into practice to help us through this journey that we call life? How do we make stories in the scriptures and their recommended rituals and practices actually applicable to us today? Because we seek rationality even in spirituality. Often, stories in these ancient scriptures seem like concocted tales, which we accept as kids, but then question as adults. Science is definitely a more probable way of understanding life. But what if we could offer you a more systematic way of looking at ancient spirituality, which is practical and logical in today's world?
Can we answer the many questions we have regarding religion and spirituality and create some sort of harmony? These videos attempt to do this because we all have questions that we seek practical answers to.
We have heard of miracles happening in this modern world. Terminal patients recovering, still babies coming to life again, future revelations in dreams, and even divine interactions with ethereal entities. We know that practices like yoga give us inner peace. But the challenge is, can we connect the dots of science and faith and bridge them? And even so, we all still struggle with so many questions on this subject matter.
We dare to wonder, do these old scriptures add value to the modern mind?
Were these scriptures written by divine men or just men?
Isn't it a way to wield power and enforce structure?
Or are we just blindly following what we don't understand? How about this problem? If we choose to believe in an all-loving God who has given us the capacity to love, then why do we have to go through the pain of losing those we love the most? Is it reasonable to think that continuous confession or atonement can remove the seeds of sinful desire? And is it fair for a priest who has dedicated his whole life to God attains that very same heaven as the man who spent his whole life in pursuit of pleasure? What is the role of karma? And if reincarnation exists, then what determines where and when we return? And will we see our loved ones again? Do we need a guru or a spiritual guide to make progress? And why is it that so many gurus and guides seem just as greedy as us? And why is it that so many spiritual institutions seem to favor the rich?
Do we dare question the unquestionable? Do we dare reason beyond the boundaries of proof? All these are very valid questions. There are times when these questions will be uncomfortable, and they may even be confrontational. But it is only through significant probing will the truth manifest itself. I propose that perhaps we haven't given these ancient scriptures their due credit. We may have followed blindly, but many of us have rejected blindly. After all, we know many honorable people in the past who have shaped history, that have invested their entire belief system into these holy books and abided by their principles. I think the difficulty with a lot of these scriptures is that they were written in languages like Hebrew and Sanskrit. A lot of the examples that they gave were from an older time. And on top of this, when translated into English, there were a lot of terminologies which were ancient, like these and thous, which make it a very hard read. I feel we owe this outdated spiritual world closer look. Their profound teachings can radically change our future for the better. But for this, we ourselves have to be open to change. We have to weed out philosophies that destroy the pure fabric of spirituality and inner growth, even if they seem to challenge the scriptures. Often people have suggested to me that we need to reinvent the wheel of spirituality. But this series aims at bringing to light the profound concepts of ancient spirituality and their applicability in modern times. This is a humble attempt to bring light to places which have remained dark for too long. I invite all of you to join us in this journey where we ask some hard questions, unravel misunderstood ideas and practices, and reveal the essence of spirituality.